How's it going, guys? Welcome to, well, my first ever YouTube video, actually. This is the first YouTube video I have officially made. Don't know what to expect. I really don't know what to expect, but obviously we're going to jump straight into it, aren't we, guys? I'm not going to hesitate. Let's just do it. Let's get it done. Let's crack it. Let's crack it, you know what I mean? Don't freeze, don't freeze. I've frozen. If I do seem a little bit quirky, forgive me. My first YouTube video, I'm a little bit on heat here. I'm a little bit on heat, I must warn you. Welcome, guys, anyway, to the biggest mistakes in modern day horror movies. Now, if you're watching this video, guys, I would probably assume that you're all avid horror movie watchers, or at least that you enjoy watching horror movies, just like I do. I've been watching horror movies since the age of 13. My mother should not have let me do that. No, she shouldn't. Horror movies today are not up to standard. They're not up to standard, and I'll tell you why they're not up to standard. I'll tell you exactly why horror movies today are not up to standard, not up to code compared to how they used to be. So without any hesitation, I can give you 4 to 5 films off the top of my head that are perfect examples of the big time failings in modern horror movies. In my opinion, of course.
It's just an opinion.
We have the horror movie Come Play, released in 2020. Antlers, released in 2021. The Boogeyman, released in 2023. And Cobweb, also released in 2023. Now, what these 4 horror movies have in common, and it does my head in, honestly, it drives me absolutely insane. It drives me absolutely insane. I watch these horror movies, and every single time I have to comment. I cannot sit and watch these movies without commenting on it. Why is it that in each and every one of these type of movies, there's always a child in these movies that doesn't speak? The child within these movies doesn't speak. He does not speak. And I keep seeing this more and more. There's always a child that doesn't talk, but yet he can see the evil that no one else can see. But he can't tell anyone because he doesn't speak. And why do they not speak? Well, I'm going to guess that they probably suffered some kind of trauma. You know, the loss of a father, something traumatic has happened to them in their life that leads them to this point now where they do not speak. But it's such a boring concept, in my opinion. Why do these movie writers always think that having a child that doesn't speak is a good idea? No, yeah, I'll let it slide for one movie or two. I had 2 fingers up then. I'm all for it for 1 movie or maybe 2 movies, but when they continuously do it like they have been, it's becoming such a boring thing now. It's become such a boring thing. Every single time I watch a movie now and I see a child within this movie, I always know it's going to be the same kind of child that we've seen in so many movies before. The child's not going to talk, basically. He's not going to talk. He's going to potentially have parents that aren't very nice as well. What's with that? Why do these kids always have parents that don't understand them? They're always like, oh, you're seeing things, or oh, yeah. It's just a bad dream. Get some sleep. I think I can tell the difference between a dream and reality, mother. Or father. Or maybe I can't because I'm a child. Yeah. But like I said, I've watched these movies. I've watched Antlers. I've watched The Boogeyman. I've watched Come Play. And I'm not going to... Look, this video is not me hating on modern day horror films. It's just me giving my opinion, of course. I love watching horror films. I love going to the cinema or the theatre and sitting down and watching a new horror film, a modern day horror film, and just knowing in my mind that I'm probably not going to be too thrilled by this movie, but just loving the fact that I can sit there and watch a horror movie and potentially be made jump a couple of times. It's quite fun, but I can't help but notice the failings in modern day horror films, and it's becoming more evident now than ever before. When I watch horror films now, I'm looking at them and I'm thinking, you've done, I've seen this before, I've seen that before. I know it's very difficult to come up with new original ideas in horror films, and I accept that. Every 10, 15 years or so, you'll get a director come along or, a writer, and they'll make a film that blows everything up, and it changes the direction of horror films forever. I get that it's not going to be a constant theme. But what I don't like about horror films now is I don't think they're even trying. I don't think people now are even trying to make different horror films. They're just following the same trends of each and every horror film that's gone before it, and I think that's lazy. I call that laziness. Which brings me on to jump scares. Now, one of my favourite ever horror films is 2002, The Ring. And The Ring, if any of you have ever watched The Ring, it's a brilliant horror film. It's an absolutely fantastic horror film. But what you'll notice about that horror movie, The Ring, if you've ever seen The Ring, is that there's not really any jump scares throughout. It is a film based purely on tension, suspense and atmosphere, which is what I absolutely love about The Ring. And for me, that is another reason why modern horror movies are failing. They believe that jump scares are a better substitute for atmosphere and suspense, and they're really not. In my opinion, they're completely not. I've watched many modern day horror films, and I've now got to the point where I know when the jump scare is going to come up. I know for a fact when a jump scare is going to happen. 90% of the time, I'm not even joking, 90% of the time I know when a jump scare is going to happen. You know full well that when that father walks upstairs or that mother walks upstairs to go to their son or daughter's bedroom because they can hear strange crying noises coming from it, you know when they open that bedroom door, there's going to be nothing there. But you know when they turn around... That wasn't very good acting. Now, I know full well that that's going to be the case. Not all the time, and I love being made jump, I really do. I actually get a thrill from being made jump. I love watching horror films and not knowing at times when something's going to pop up. Not like I said to you. But for me, jump scares are so predictable now. They really are so predictable. I don't watch any horror film now, and I don't really feel like I'm going to be made jump. I go to watch a film now, and I don't feel like I'm going to be made jump. And that for me is the real sad part, because I love watching horror films. But for me, they've gone in such a direction now where jump scares are just the way. It's cheap jump scare after cheap jump scare after cheap jump scare. You watch horror films now, honestly, they're just cheap jump scares all the way. The characters in horror movies now, they just feel like side characters. Every character feels like a side character to make way for the big jump scares. Or the predictable jump scares, as I call them. Why am I doing that for? I don't know why I'm doing that. That's the way I feel about horror films now, and that's quite a sad thing. But hey-ho. But you can guarantee that when the new next horror movie comes out, I'll be there watching it. You can guarantee that, because as much as I criticise and as much as I have an opinion on it, I will still be watching future horror films. But yes, guys, that's my views on modern day horror films. Of course, horror movies. Let's call it horror movies. Sounds cooler, doesn't it? That's my views on modern day horror movies, guys. Obviously, let me know if you actually agree with any of my opinions. You might not. You might actually think I'm talking absolute nonsense, in which case, tell me to shut up. But of course, let's have a conversation, guys. Leave your comments below. Please subscribe to my channel as well. This is my first video. I hope you've enjoyed it, guys. It's been an experience. It's definitely been an experience, and I've thoroughly enjoyed making this video. I really have, and I certainly hope you enjoy watching it. Until the next time, guys, I will see you soon for more videos just like this. Goodbye.